you there at the end, Chad, is really just kind of what brought it all
I didn't know
together.
that was getting used for that. I was filming something else.
Are you upset?
I am. This has happened under my nose. I'm going to file an official complaint and send it up the chain to management.
Well, I think you should know before you do that that song is actually currently trending amongst 72 of the countries across the world.
Wow.
So
that spread fast. That shit viral.
It sounds like you don't want any, return of the profits on that. And that's fine.
Jeez.
That's completely fine because some of the profits at hand are, in fact, the first place of the European minor here at the Twickenham in London for the FACEIT Major. Coming up, we do have the Ninjas of Pajamas and Optic Gaming squaring off in one best of three, wherein which we will determine the winner of this whole shebang. Now, guys, we just saw Nip do it. Can they do it again?
That's the question. That's definitely the question. Now, look, the stake of this game, I think, for both of these squads, unfortunately, was just to get to this point where they're now in the major, right? Your European teams, when you move into the first phase, we're going to have the new challenger phase. The seed isn't so important because you're likely to get stacked up against a lesser team from another region anyway, right? We know that there's the Vega squadrons in there. Gambit's been a bit of a struggle street. So if we're looking at this game based off pure context of emotion and how serious they're going to be taking it, I expect to get 50% out of everybody.
Well, 50%, that's a good place to start. Maniac, have you ever been 50% in your life?
If I have been 50%, no, I'm only 100. I'm 0 or 100%. That's it. I either do or I don't.
Wow.
Fair enough.
That
well,
keeps it easy.
Do you think that the Ninjas in Pajamas we just saw were at what percent?
Close to 90-95%.
Wow, that's pretty
They're
good.
probably close to the best that they can do at the moment. Obviously, I expect them to become better as they develop their game plan, but yeah, that was pretty close to that.
Well, coming off the heels of that, now having to play another best of three, I'm thinking that could definitely play a factor into it. We know how emotional this team could be. We saw the looks on their faces. There were tears of joy. There was a whole bunch going on there, and I think that could begin to wear on them, but maybe I'm wrong?
No, I definitely think the emotional release of being able to win that game and now put yourself back in the majors after 745 days, was it, Trace? For the legends such as Forrest and Getright, it means a lot, right? The problem is here now having to go into this next matchup with the same level of aggression, the same level of hunger and drive is not going to be there. There's no mincing words about that. We can't even pretend to say that's going to be the case. On the other side of things, Optic are ready and raring to go. They just want to smash these guys. They know in that best three they had earlier it could have been a two-mapper. It did go three. So, you would put stock in Optic early, but if NIP have released themselves a little bit Dubai-esque, where they were on the brink of death and then they, played fantastically at that tournament and then they were reinvigorated, it could be a banger.
Well, here's one guy that's not really necessarily worried about reinvigorating at this point, but rather waking up the giant that is Optic Gaming. It's going to be Rugga, the coach, who's down there with Freya, the Slayer.
Yes, thank you guys. I've managed to grab the coach from Optic, Casper. So how does it feel for you guys to be in the grand final of the European Minor?
Our grand final was probably the match against ENS, so this has taken some pressure off our shoulders now. So, yeah, going into the match pretty calm and just want to give the rest we got in the tournament now.
So what was the team's goal coming into this? Obviously, you wanted to win, but did you expect to be coming up against NIP in the grand final?
I expected ENS to win, but I think the nerves got to the younger players and they couldn't find the groove in the match against NIP. So, yeah, the experienced ones pulled through, and that's why they're here. So, congrats to them.
So how has it being a coach for a team with such new players? How has it been integrating Yugi and Snappy into the team?
Obviously, we had our issues starting up with the team, but I think you got that in most teams when they assemble 5 guys. Obviously, they had something from Heroic they wanted to do, and we had something from our time in North as well. So over time, we found a way to blend them together, and that's what's showing off here.
Because you seem to really have really good chemistry together and as a unit. I just want to pick up on Gade. He played really well in your last matchup against ENS. How does he perform within the team and how is he integrated?
I think he came into this team with a lot of things to show. He has played out of his mind and has done a lot to improve his game. So I'm just glad that he's showing on the big stage.
So you guys managed to beat NIP in the last, I think it was the last best of 3 you saw them in. They took 1 map off you, you took 2 maps. Does this give you more confidence coming to this matchup that you can take the first place spot?
Really, our minds were set for qualifying. Obviously, we want to win the tournament, but it wouldn't be a huge loss for us if we lose this one. But I think both teams, they are gonna give it the rest they got, because mentally it was the previous game that everyone was thinking of. So I think it will be a fun match.
Do you think they might have a lot of momentum because they've just come off that win against ENS?
Nah, I think we're pretty much in the same boat. Like, they had a lot of like emotions going out of the game. We had the same. Like, we have had a couple of hours like to comprehend it. It's pretty new in their minds as well. So I think like they might start off a little slow, but let's wait and see.
Thank you very much, and best of luck in this game. We're going to head back to the analyst desk.
Yeah, so you can tell right there with his composure that, you know what, they don't necessarily have the sweat on their brow yet. But again, we're not in the server yet
I'm
either.
glad that he said that and painted the picture that way, because otherwise it's just me standing up here looking like an idiot going, these guys aren't going to give this 100%. But then he just said.
I mean, I think it's pretty echoed. Maniac, what do you got?
I think you can see also the positive. You know, I like to see the positive in life.
Come on, man.
Chad wants to say they're not going to play 100%. Excuse me. I like to say they're going to play free. They're gonna maybe we should see.
We got a hippie down the end here, man.
This is not hippie. This is always two sides of a coin. You know, I think we could see a map that we don't expect. I think we could see crazy individual plays because the pressure is not so high, the stakes are not so high. So I like to think they're gonna be liberated.
No, liberated could be the sentiment, but you also say two sides of the coin. I mean, there are two sides to this coin. It's Ninjas on one and Optic on the other. And in fact, let's learn a little bit more about these teams going into this matchup.
The major is the biggest thing, is prestige. For me personally, it's the only thing that I still feel I have to achieve.
I believe we can do this.
It's just you got to keep grinding and stay calm and positive all the way through these matches.
It's not easy to get to, but it's somewhere like every player wants to go.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Well, no, that was quite dramatic. I understand the pause there. You were just doing that for pacing.
I was choked up is what it was. It really, we've worked so hard, and these guys have worked so hard to put us here in this grand final now in this best of three. And in fact, I think we could have a barn burner of a match.
You think it's going to be an absolute back and forth, up and down roller coaster affair?
I'm thinking, you know what? 90 rounds.
All the rounds.
90 rounds of Counter-Strike are potentially about to be played. But maybe, just maybe, Optic, having had that little bit of downtime and the ability to scout their newest opponents in the previous match, they could be the one that take the driver's seat on this one. Let's start the focus on Optic Gaming now.
Well, I guess if we want to just quickly highlight the players within this team that as the stars, we've got Yugi and Config. Gade stepped up in this tournament, showed a better face from him as an individual, Cajun B and Snappy as the backbones, with the man we saw in the interview, Raga, doing the coaching. Now, let's talk about the nitty and the gritty, because if you haven't established these teams up to this point, then you really haven't been paying much attention. Optic have good fundamentals. They have a good in-game leader who's a veteran of the scene in Snappy, and they have star potential who can stand up and hit these multi-kills and turnarounds on their heads like you're seeing right on your screen. Now, earlier in the tournament, NIP and Optic have already played against each other. They played on Nuke, which was a shellacking overpass, which went in the way of NIP, and then Inferno to close things out. That's where this one is really going to go down to. Are we going to see the same maps, or is the freedom going to come into this and some more risks in the veto for either team?
It's really hard to say. I wish I had a completely logical prediction to give you. That's not really the case. Could be the same maps, obviously, since the stakes are not so high. Maybe they don't overthink the veto process. They might just go with the comfort peak, you know. We shall see.
Well, let's meet this Optic Gaming lineup one final time. KJB, Gade, Yugi, Config, and Snappy. And there are some heavy hitters on this squad, especially, that's extra specially, especially the man on your screen right there, Cajun B, no stranger to the grand finals. And of course, alongside of him would be Yugi lately with the AWP. You could talk about Config. You could talk about each individual one of these players and the skill set that they bring. But what should we be looking for within this Optic lineup?
I guess unbridled aggression early against NIP, lack of respect is something which will probably be coming in, and I think that they may as well just take this bull by the horns and try and ride it out with some flashy CS. There's not too much point here exhausting yourself strategically. I think, you know, if you want the victory, sure, but I think it's going to come in a loose manner, not necessarily one that's well structured and well devised, which is something that Optic have done throughout the tournament.
Yeah, I agree with Chad. I think whichever team actually takes control first of this game, because of the nature of the game, because of the stakes, I think could probably have a highway to the victory here. It's probably not one of these games where people are going to go deep inside of them to, you know, fight back what's happening, and they're going to give everything they have. It's one of these scenarios where if Optic goes in firing up and Config just goes ham, it might be a quick affair.
We don't know. We don't have answers for you, Trace.
You don't have answers for me.
I wish we had.
My goodness. Either way, check it out. We got the Ninjas of Pajamas. And yes, now in the grand finals of the playoffs, it's been a long, arduous road for these guys. And perhaps a little bit of argy-bargy there we saw between Forrest and Dennis earlier. But don't get it twisted. These guys are loading up in the server, and they're going to be feeling probably a little bit warmer, but a little bit exhausted as well.
I think emotionally they're spent. They're going to be completely gassed. You know, when you ever finish a game of Counter-Strike and you're in tears, that's telling you how much it means to you, right? And these are happy tears, of course. They're able to get the victory. I think either way, NIP would have been very likely to cry in that regard. But as you're coming into this matchup with the players in the server, Geralt and Forrest stepped up in a big way to get them here, to get them spot back in the major and really cement what it means for these boys moving forward in 2018.
Well, Chad, if I'm being honest, most of the Counter-Strike matches that I finish, I end in tears as well.
Different kinds. It's out of like rage-based anger of people not communicating and just being absolute potato brains. But NIP maybe more for actually accomplishing something that they've been out to do for 2 years now.
It's a crazy concept, but it's called teamwork. See, there's 5 guys on one team, there's 5 guys on the other team. And both teams, here's the kicker, both teams are trying to get to 16 rounds, Maniac.
God damn.
So that's what it is about, 16 rounds.
Yeah.
I was lied to my whole career.
Man,
I thought 10 was...
Probably
16 rounds.
Probably why Sponge beat you guys in that game. But
anyway, I'm not bringing it up anymore. You're the one bringing it up all the time.
Dennis, Forrest, Get Right, Lecro, and Rez, and anything I can do to fire up Sponge, I'll press all the buttons. Now, Maniac, we could talk about the emotional exhaustion. We can talk about these guys really having to bring it back together after such a win earlier. But I guess for all intensive purposes, what would be the silver linings? What would be the things that they could play to their strengths?
Well, here's the thing about this NIP lineup. Obviously, we have established that the game plan is probably not yet quite ready. Lecro taking over IGL quite recently. The silver linings are different players have showed up at different times during this tournament. And we've seen Rez and Dennis be the spearhead of the victory in some games. In this previous series, that was Forrest and Get Right who actually pushed them over the lines. So it kind of means that many different players can do it. I said it against ENCE, I'm going to say it again. This lineup, if all players fire up at the same time, we have a world-class team because of the players that are in. But it hasn't really happened a lot recently. If that's the case now, or at all, don't want to be that bad. But you know, that's the thing with a roster like this. If everyone fires up at the same time, it's a very scary prospect for anyone who plays against them.
And even the fact that Lecro is moving these chess pieces around for him.
Well, once again, I think when you play with a player the type of Forrest, Get Right, I would even put Dennis in it. The load on Lecro's shoulder is not so heavy because he has players who have kind of an understanding of what's supposed to happen. He doesn't have to move every pieces one by one and micromanage every situation because there is an understanding of what's happening.
Well, the understanding is this. We do have a head-to-head comparison. We can kind of hone in on 2 players specifically that were identified before the match, and that's going to be Rez and Config. That's not the same last name as Pimp, is it?
It's close, but I think more importantly, both these players are going to be X factors in this matchup. Rez has been styling on the opponents throughout, especially when NIP were down in the dumps and they were struggling to convert games. He was still a shining light. He was still continuing to frag on out. And Config, of course, we know he gets off to these blistering starts in matches, putting up 15 kills in the first 5 or 6 rounds. Always a big influencer, and he's going to be very aggressive, very confident coming into this. So these two battling it out in the server is going to be an exciting one to watch, especially with how free-flowing I expect this to unfold.
Well, I'm ready to flow these vetoes in as soon as possible. This is a best of 3. It's going to come down a lot to the map vetoes, and I think at this point, if you're NIP, if you're Optic, where do we hope to have it land on either side here?
We could rehash the previous veto if we wanted, see if it's going to be the same. It was a ban of Cash from Optic. NIP removed Dust 2. Optic picked Nuke. NIP picked Overpass. The third map was left over being Inferno. So it's going to be interesting if we see it unfold the same way, but this is automatically a new ban coming out from NIP.
Is this one of the situations where both teams actually removed Cash? So I would give NIP a little bit of advantage because they could get away with the Mirage ban, whereas Optic has to ban Cash. Now, Dust 2 is open for Optic. I don't think they look that proficient.
I hope they do pick it, though, because it'd just be a punish, because NIP clearly don't want to play Dust 2 at all, right? And that's where, there you go. Well, no, wait, NIP picked Dust 2.
Dust 2.
Yeah,
that's my bad.
That's the thing. I mean, I don't think Optic could use that as a punish if they are not, that ready or prepared on the map. It can be double-edged sword.
Safe pick. Yeah, safe pick. They won that game 16-7 previously, so we could end up with either Inferno Train,
I guess.
Yeah, I think Inferno Train would be the safer bet. If you're Optic at this point, maybe just remove Overpass. Don't risk having that one in there. So it should be Train.
I think it should be Train as well. I agree with you.
Here we go.
Well, Only time will tell. The drum roll has come through, and it is Train. In fact, we will be going Dust 2, Nuke, and Train to decide who wins the European minor here.
Talk about exotic maps.
Exotic maps, you're right. No Inferno. My goodness.
Yeah, cool. I'm glad. I'm fed up of watching that map. Give us something different. I like watching a bit of Nuke every now and again.
Every now and then.
I'm just going to do my maths here to work out the prediction, Trace, while you set this up.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. And while you're doing some maths, Chad, can you take 2 million and subtract 100,000?
Okay.
What do you got?
Head over to FACEIT giveaway website, and you can win 2 million points to get some Dragon Laws.
You nailed it, Chad. You absolutely crushed it. FACEITmajor.com/giveaway. And it couldn't have been. It could have been worse.
You can't trick me.
It wasn't bad.
I would have fallen into it.
A lot of quick maths. Either way, we're going to be giving away a boatload of points, and actually, you can get about 100,000 of the big ones right now. Maniac, are you just amped up? Tell me you're
giving them away.
Yeah, there it is.
Let's go.
Cool.
That was like a man grunt. We needed a little bit of that coming into this one. So, without further ado, with the selection that I have been given, the powers at B, your winner is...
Boop. Oh, it's an extended drum roll. Sunny.
Sort of.
From Mouse Sports.
Yes. Sonny from Mouse Sports, please come on down to the ticket counter and collect your prize. If you do not claim it here in the next 5 minutes, we will call another victory. Either way, congratulations, SNNY_ for winning a boatload of points. Now, guys, I'm going to ask you straight up because we're ready to get into this best of 3. We're ready to get this bad boy started. Who do you have?
Let's go Maniac first.
NIP.
All right. Trace, I've finished the equations here, and looks like we're going to get a fantastic back-and-forth roller coaster game of Counter-Strike with both teams playing free-flowing styles with emotions on the line. Bonus rounds, and you know who's going to win? The Counter-Strike fans around the world, because it's going to be a banger!
A banger. That's BANGAH. Banger. That's how they spell it down under. You put them on an island for a little while, and they all kind of go a little crazy, right? Either way, it is that time. I'm going to stop delaying, and I'm going to give it to the guys who are skilled enough with their verbiages and word sets to deliver this action to you with such great finesse. And I want to say thank you to both of you for being who you are. Sadakist and Henry Greer, take it away.
One last go at the surname there. This time he nailed it. It is going to be the grand final here at the EU Minor. We've got Optic and NIP. They're both already coming back to London in September. But this is all about prize money and maybe seedings as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone talks about seedings in the Swiss system, and that would...
It doesn't really seem to matter
fix
too
it
much,
up. No, well, yet to see. I mean,
apart from the first game, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see what the details lead to when we get there in London. But more importantly, it's a matter of pride of the money. So money is great. Let's see who gets that $30,000 check for first place. Optic versus NIP. First map, Dust 2. Optic start out on the CT side.
They absolutely do. Looks like a B rush coming in from NIP here, though. Remember, the pressure is off. They can play a free-flowing game as Optic will find the first frag, but that's the B bomb site completely open now. It's up to Yugi, Config, and KGB, who are very close by, trying to take down Getro. Remember how good he was looking in the last series. He'll have to go for a reload here. Deagle is out for Lectro. They're trying to be a little bit more aggressive this time with the purchases. Lectro does deliver a pretty brutal headshot there. He hasn't got armor to go with it, but he's still inflicting damage here. And with a backstab coming in towards middle, it looks like this one's coming to its logical conclusion. A knife attempt comes through. Rez finishes things off. B rush successful. And it will be 1-0 for NIP. You'll see a lot more happy faces on NIP now. They'll be
more relaxed, more jovial.
Exactly.
Maybe they'll just dominate because of that. Maybe it'll be a sign of things that they should do more often.
I think if they win Dust 2, they're going to walk over them on Nuke. I think that Nuke is actually very good. So
we'll see. Still, though, you're right. Knife attempt, you called it. Maybe see a bit more loose antics overall.
Well, the thing is, as well, the fact they're buying Deagles and pistols, you haven't seen that once with Lecro. So to suggest he's a bit more relaxed now.
And he loves the Deagle.
Yeah.
Well, Gade standing in front. He certainly was. Forrest gets on top of him. Gets the kill as well. Jump shot, Yugi. Fair play. Catches the bomb carrier. Still, though, they are locked out of the site. Smoke down. Lecro with the AK will just chill out and watch both directions. That being the tunnels and the window. Dennis to plant it. Not default, but open enough to see from the tunnels. Get right waits to see the flank, so the rather rotations flank indeed is the case. As he will spot Config, but the rotations that come around from the tunnels as well. Snappy backing away. He'll want to keep the scout, so too with Yugi, so 2-0 for NIP.
1-2. 2 scouts. Trying to save those for the next round. NIP, another successful approach towards that B-bomb, so Yugi probably maybe gets another. Does tag the player there towards the middle doors, but looks like his days might be numbered. Another tag coming in. Needs the 1D here on Get Right. Gonna find it just yet. Has to be the scout. No scope or quick scope. Doesn't connect. And it will be Snappy to save his scout. He's on the A bomb side now, just hiding in the corner. Spam coming in. One of those bullets touches him. He's going down, but he does survive. It has to be the full eco now for Optic. See how emotional things got after the previous series. I agree with the analysts. It's going to be difficult to find everything inside you to perform at the maximum level once you've had that emotional drain. Snappy opens things up. Nice shot. Forrest tries to get down suicide, and it lives up to his name. He will be dropped at the very start. There's still a lot of work to do here. Snappy repositions. He's actually going towards long, so he's trying to move around, stay dynamic. Hasn't got armor, but he's already found a headshot. Can he do a bit more here? The kill for Dennis as Legro gets tagged up. He'll be taken down. Oh my goodness, Snappy could actually do this. We'll see if he can land another one. He does, as they're getting dropped like flies here. What are they up to? It's very loose and quite sloppy Counter-Strike here. No real reason to even go long once you know he's got the scout. Just pull back as Rez desperately tries to recover this situation. It's up to Dennis now, who's your any player of convincing HP. I think he'll be dropped any second though. This is a full eco with one safe scout working out. Snappy with 3 kills. It all started with the suicide drop from Forrest. If you think about it logically, why does he have to drop down suicide? He could just run a default, but like we said, we expect some looser Counter-Strike. Chad is excited the prospect of it being Dust 2, considering the context of the pressure relief now. Maybe we'll see some fun things, so can't think about it too much.
Good shot from Rez to take out config, but Snappy steps back out, and it is 2-1.
As mature as we'd love to be. $30,000 for some of these guys.
I don't know a thing about maturity.
It isn't the be-all and end-all. So I guess they're happy to have some fun with this one.
Isn't that remarkable? I mean, a major final used to be $250,000 prize pool in total. Back in even 2015, that was, you know, that's almost a month. It's still a little more than a month's salary, but you know, back in 2016, $30,000 was still a big enough deal to make a case for. You're right. It's where are we? What is this?
Just showed you how amazing Counter-Strike is. We've got so much funding and interest in the game. These players are becoming celebrities in their own right within their own regions. It's a lot of fun. If you told me that 10 years ago, I wouldn't have believed you. But there we go. 3-on-2. Yugi and Gade on the retake right now. MP7, M4. They've got incendiaries, smokes as NIP look promising to take this one again. Get rights. Finds the penultimate kill, but Yugi's making this at least a little bit awkward. Flashes over. Really can't win the round of his HP. They sneeze on him, he'll go down. So after winning the full eco, they drop again. Forrest now got the AWP. Get right with 2 kills. Lekro and Reds with the other 2. Yugi just hoping they exit through CT spawn. I'd assume they'd go long eventually. Off they go.
Yugi. The only one left, and Get Right.
Fine. As long as you're in the pit, you're cool.
Yeah, he's got 11. Oh, really? So all I have to do is go to the pit and I'm cool.
Exactly.
I've wanted to be cool my whole life, and Hank.
Get in that pit. Money's still there, especially with Yugi being able to drop the MP7. I'm assuming that'll be used this round. They actually disregard it as config. Get us down the Deagle. Looks like it got double up set up here. No damage inflicted as they cross. Yugi looking for the B tunnels pick. Final best of 3 of this entire event. It'll be Snappy finding the first pick there from CT spawn. As they do a contact play, they're going to find the scope and the bullets as Yugi removes that group from the equation. Okay, Get Right.
Not bad. Through the smoke, good read. Takes down Snappy. Works out through the door as well. Yugi still waiting at the window, however, toward B. We'll put him down, and in doing so, leaves it with just 2 players who walk into a smoke, and Gate is on top of the box. Just not a place for a Gate to be, but it's now 3-2 as Optic pull back one more round. You said it, they had just enough money to buy out guns due to the drop. NIP, not quite in a similar position. They didn't get a bomb plant down, so a bit more precarious for them.
Triple ops now for Optic. Against the eco of NIP here, I think we've called for a pause. They missed it, so
it's a bit late.
Yeah, they'll have to continue. It was an eco anyway. Didn't actually do any damage.
Cajun does find Forrest. Config sprays into Get Right. That'll work well as he goes down at long. So too does the bomb get left in that position, and there's no one on an IP anywhere near it. They're just going to run in and get this one over with. Lekro, he's seemingly invincible, impenetrable by bullet, but Snappy shows that the pistol works fine against him. 3-3, and back to the guns for NIP. It's close. Get Right. Did we have a drop? We do. So the pause was called. You said it was late. Rez drops down. We're going to see if we can get back in quickly. Headset off. Not that that matters for our case because we are quite far away from them.
Timeout is called now. It looks like it's technical as NIP lose a player.
He's got high FPS.
He's got too much FPS. No, he's got an FPS issue.
Yeah, he did say, Nick quickly corrected himself. I mean low.
But of course, he's dealing with the wrong guys here.
Guys, it's too smooth. Things aren't supposed to be easy. We're NIP. I need my 10 FPS back, please.
Yeah. Well, there we go. 3-3. And they'll just be restarting the piece, I'd imagine. Maybe swap it out if it's not recovered. But this could be a couple of minutes here. Admin behind him, just sorting things out. Had to use the phone to log into Steam. Gives it back. So I assume that was just a PC restart.
Hopefully that is the case. Anything you want to talk about, Henry, while we're toward the end of this minor?
I don't know. I think it's...
Remember the minor?
Yeah. I think my favorite part was that song.
Yeah, me too.
It was pretty good.
I didn't know Paula's voice was so absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, was it?
I want him to serenade
Sounded
me
like a bit of
every single
auto-tune
night.
was there, not going to lie.
In his side. Freya killed it.
She did.
Little auto-tune, but you know what? That's trendy these days.
Yeah, I think so.
We know that Paula is one with the trends.
Indeed. So, might have a couple more minutes on the FPS issue here. So let's just round this all up. It's been quite the affair here at the Major. We've had some heartbreak, some tears of joy, and a bit of a roller coaster in general, especially for an IP. But you can see them there. Win or lose, they've accomplished the job they came here to do. It'll be the first Major they return to in 3. So, congratulations to them.
In 4, they missed.
Yes.
Yeah, they missed. They were in the qualifying stages, which is now the round of 24 for the Major, but they were in the qualifying stages for Atlanta.
745 days since the last.
Wow.
There you go. I just plucked that out of my memory.
That's almost as long as mine. Okay, thank you, Dan. I will have a Goosey Gator. 745 days. That's almost as long as my sex drought.
Yeah?
Almost.
Almost.
That's a really long time.
It's not bad, is it? Well, they've done it now. And yes, you are right. You have to get pinch of start with the rules and the format being changed to the Major. If it was the other format, they would just be in the qualifying.
I know, but we can't say that forever, right? That is the new format. That is the new circumstances.
So
yeah.
there you go.
Wow, we'll see about that. I'm
going to hold you
accountable.
People are still tweeting me. I think I've said that about 15 times this week. They're still tweeting me going, why are you saying they're in the Major?
Well, they are. Technically, they are now. I'm sorry.
I was like, I don't know what else to tell you. They are. So
yeah, by technicality, they are in the Major now. They get stickers on guns, okay?
And
if that's not proof enough,
gauge.
Yeah, if that's not proof enough for you, I don't know what is. Well, get underway again as the restart from Rez on the PC. Didn't like to buy on this one. I thought they might. They were on the cusp of doing so, but they'll keep enough money to do so inevitably in the next round. Snappy. I thought he was going to get run down. Took a dink, I think, through the edge of the stairs when they ran around the corner, but still he gets the shot off with the Optic. Will fall immediately after. And Rez picking up that AWP makes good work of it. Good use, good work. All the same, Dennis finds config. It's a 1-man advantage for NIP. Yugi. His turn to go for a jump shot.
Maybe. Remember, this was an eco from NIP as well. They go then aggressively towards that A site, and everyone collapses from Optic. 3-on-2. Yugi, one of the fastest orbs at this event. Will find himself at the 2-on-2 now, but Rez, lovely shot from him right for the corner. Takes down Gade. He's going to take some jumping heroics here if he's going to have a chance. Yugi doing what he can. You can see his brain processing the information. How could he possibly get in this? This is the start, though. He has got the kit, looking for the kill. If he gets it, that should be enough. I think he's got time as well. Absolutely phenomenal scenes there from Yugi. an absolute beast at this tournament, continues to look calm under pressure as he delivers another epic display. 4-3, Optic. That looked like that round was out of their control. But of course, Yugi takes matters into his own hands, wins a 2 versus 1, and all is right in the world. We'll see round of break coming in. Double up set up on both sides. They've intentionally gone towards it. They didn't save any weapons from the previous round in their piece. They've actually brought that up. Probably the most viable map for it.
Res.
Dead.
Dead. Gone. Destroyed. Get right will get to mid. He hasn't gone through the doors yet, but he'll smoke in. Config waiting on the other side with the M4. Flash over top of the mid doors, and that might be cue for Config to go through. Just change his sides instead. Wanted to see if anyone was waiting. Get right, might get caught. Throws the alcohol instead. It's clearly not alcohol, but you get the point. Or do you? I don't know, Henry.
I'm getting it. Well, back and forth we've been so far, but the last 3 rounds have gone in favour of Optic, finding us a scoreline of 4-3. 3 players alive in this round, make it 2 as Config will be dropped. What does that mean? 2R1A. When he Config gets a kill, something strange is coming up. But there we go. We'll see a 5-on-1. Dennis will be dropped. We'll find ourselves a clean sweep for Optic there. Money not looking too good for an IP. Grand final here, ladies and gentlemen. Both these teams at the major, but playing for the money and potential seeding issues as well. I think just a deagle for Lecro here. We've seen some looser, faster gameplay from an IP. Like I said, the deagle or the pistol, for example. I haven't seen that from Lecro before. Great deagle user, makes sense. And oh my goodness, Yugi almost got him. That's the most satisfying kill you can get. If you get there just before they cross over with the bad spawn, really can frustrate some players.
Cajun B, though, gets one. Early shot from him as he pushed long, and then now will subside to the car. Yugi moves back down to middle. He'll get a shot this time, and some damage. Get right tag to 23. And Dennis takes out Yugi in return. That brings us 1 level back toward an IP, but 1 more to go before they're level on 3. Config back through the smoke. Get right, the one to wait on the other side. Snappy swings in behind. He'll get the 2 final kills. They lose 1 more in Config, so bit of money lost on that nip. Or, excuse me, on the Optic side. But they still have a healthy lead. 6-3, in fact, with 4 or 5 rounds in a row. I'm learning as we go, Henry. We're doing it live.
We are doing it live. 6-3. Single AWP setup this time. NIP starting to lose their footing on Dust 2 as the scoreline keeps increasing.
This time prevails. Cajun wanted the same shot as he found last time. So hold on for Yugi. Oof. That's pretty good. Red Dennis. Like a book.
4-3. There is a chance here for an IP with the utility they have. They get a flash on towards A, but Snappy's there with the smoke out. He wants to deploy that now. He's flashed. They might get up before he has a chance. They've already got player down towards spawn, but Snappy trying his best. He does do damage, finishes things off. That's all he needed to do, get that 1 kill and slow down the bomb plant. There we go. Necro fakes the plant. Config trying to take him down. He sneaks in towards that smoke, and Necro can't really do much about it. Misses out on the chance to get a kill. I think his teammates told him. He just saw him. As he'll now smoke up. Now he knows Conflict's there. It's a duel, and no real reason to push him there, but now he can actually plant the bomb. They're both towards short. He'll plant safely. Oh, well, that was his opportunity. I thought he'd just go for it, to be honest. Going to smoke the site. Really trying to force him out of position. Is he off to B now? They'll hear him from short. So he's gone, and Yugi's going to drop down and miss the shot, in fact. So there's still a chance here for Lecro. Difficult to win, but he can do this. There it is. A miss from Yugi has set him up completely. Gade now. Does he run in and try and deny the plant?
Could do.
No, not going to happen. Bomb's down.
Still, though, a 1-on-1. Still a chance as well to get behind the box. Headshot angle and traces him through the door. Lecro down. 7th round for Optic. 6 in a row coming back from a slow start. It was 2. Then 2-1. Then 3-1. Now 7-3. Optic, good response.
Good shot this one. Fortunately, still didn't equate to the round victory. Dennis with the AWP again. Started off great here for NIP. They were 3-1 up. Narrowly misses out on the shot there. Dennis will be punished for it. Yugi too fast for him, it seems.
That was pretty quick from Yugi, but unfortunately 2 players, and he was just slightly off the mark from finding a collateral. Cajun thinking of holding off mid by way of utility. Smoke already down for him, but further flames. We'll hold for now and keep the op in that position. Watch for Lekro at long. He's got the bomb behind him. Actually, excuse me, he's got the bomb on him. It's GetRight that's ahead of him, not behind. And he's already out toward the corner as well with the AWP config to hold it. No Cajun in position at car this time. In fact, he's rotating back out of the B window. Shoulder spotted. I think they know GetRight certainly does that config is at the car. Good find as well. Forrest lurking with an op. Sure, yeah, why not? Lekro's got one. That means there's 2. Nearly gets spotted by Cajun, who now sits inside of CT. Snappy to hold the site alone, and a rotation behind Forrest could go against him. I think it will. Right now, as Forrest realizes it, turns around. Somehow he wasn't caught on top of the box climbing, so it just barely works out to keep him alive. GetRight, a full spray, commits, goes to the pistol. He knows he's done damage. Thankfully, Lekro said, all right, buddy, I got you.
He's got him. Cajun B, though, has he got this? Holding, can hear the bomb being planted, can't do anything about it. And it looks like they might be saving here. They've got a nice buffer of rounds. Money's not actually amazing. They've all come down to really tight situations. So lots of clutches, but unfortunately they have to let this one slip by. It's going to be a double orb setup again for an IP as round number 11 comes to its conclusion. They're all tagged up. So much damage inflicted by Optic, but couldn't hold on. A bomb site seems to be a main point of interest for the Ninjas here, but that's going to be a good round for them. 3 players to survive. Look at the score charts over here. GetRight 10 and 8. At the top of NIP, the bottom is Forrest with 2 and 8. Top of Optic is Yugi, of course it is. He's looked phenomenal, 14 and 6. And then the bottom is Gade, 5 and 5.
So 7-4. They pull one back, but this does potentially cause a Super Nintendo, Henry.
Super Nintendo Chalmers.
You can hit the reset button. Blowing the cartridge. Or whatever else you prefer, Henry. 2 ops on either side. GetRight's already out from long. Smoke down corner not covered. Forrest will post and hold for it as GetRight gets ever closer on the on the AK. I was about to say with the AWP, there's 2 of them. Lekro and Forrest both holding onto them. Again, it's interesting to see the composition of NIP. Back to a major, see how far they get. I'm not fully convinced as of yet, but Lekro does find Yugi through the door. Not bad.
Yeah, that's the AWP removed and recovered by Snappy. They've got heavy focus towards middle now. No one in the B site. They're hoping that no one just helps himself to that side of the map. That's pretty fair. No one's just going to walk into B unannounced. They're great. Some great shots of the AWP so far in this tournament. You can see the CTs trying to reposition as the aggro gets taken away. That's when config strikes. Good teamwork there. That was by design, I assure you. Config wanted a bit of a distraction set up there so he could use his SMG. Brings things back to an even keel, and he holds towards short still.
Smoke down, config buying further time toward Catwalk. Smoke coming all the way over from long, bouncing off the ledge and landing on the ramp. That angled ledge allows it to fall so gracefully. Elevator position for Cade, wants to swing out. He's going to have to because Cajun's been absolutely erased, but he does so efficiently and finds Lekro. Problem is he's lost Catwalk behind him, so he was hoping to fade in the smoke and wait for the retake. That's not allowed because Forrest gets there first, and it's just Snappy left in a 1 versus 3.
Oof, Snappy.
Just trying to save, though.
Yeah, well, NIP back in this one now. It was looking quite bleak at one point, but they've managed to string a couple of rounds together, saving weapons once again. Snappy will just have to hold on to the orb. With second stage loss bonus, they'll have to eke around it if they really want to force. I guess that's an option. And we're running towards the window there. That was Yugi being taken down at the start from Lekro's AWP. 3 orbs remain. 2 of them go back to the terrorist camp. Here's the initial shots. Have a look at it. Okay. That's not bad at all. Great. Really does look quite sublime with the orb. In-game leader, rifler, now orber.
He's got it all.
That forest spawn, though. You know what's coming, boys.
Ladies, Lekro's got it all. Forest, you're right, has the spawn. He's going to try and get there as well. Dragon lore.
Flashbang, actually. That's I always say when I'm doing
yes,
it. I say, don't,
we talked about this.
I just say don't flash them, because then they just pushes them off. I actually prefer them to see me. I want to see the fear in their eyes before I take them down.
Well, you want them to be there so you can take a shot.
Exactly. So you want it. I prefer. I understand why people do that. You get long, it's fine anyway. But I guess I prefer to have the opportunity to actually go for it. But either way, there is a shot from Forest. I think it connected. Snappy actually no, still 100 HP. Get right, made his way up silently. They are all around him. Occasionally spots him, but can't do anything about it. Garrett probably goes down here, though. There's 2 players on the side. He saw him, but didn't react in time. Still looking likely to be an NIP round.
Looking that way. Yugi's trying to do more with his USP, but Lekro swings back and finds Config. As well as Yugi going down. That means it was all under Gade. He managed 1. That's all he gets. We're back to within 1 round, that is. 7-6. Money's there enough, given that they've already bought out M4s. They're going to go all the way in on it. No AWP, mind you, for Optic. There'll be Oplist tick.
M4s.
Yeah, I wouldn't have acknowledged that one either.
I didn't really. What did
no, don't worry about it. That's fine. It wasn't that
say?
good. Yeah, that's Oplistic. In other words, they're opless. They don't have an op.
Right, okay.
Okay, don't worry about it. It ruined it. Not
all
only
of
because
them
it was bad, and then I had to explain it. So it's just awful now. Thanks, Henry.
That's fine. Got to take the chances. Gage, he certainly will. Taken down by Lekro, though. Aggressive play. Occasionally gets one back, but the smoke will block their vision. We'll have to go for the spams here. Try and stop them crossing over, but you can just wait. Good grenade, though. Does it not as much, actually, as I thought. They'll double Molotov towards the window, just to make sure no one can run through. They do stack Molotovs. Oh, Snappy, you're done for. Red's waiting for him. Here's the grenade thrown. Ultra in the corner. He should be unlucky not to get that frag towards Suicide. Desperately trying to make it happen. Can't get it. Molotov thrown, but still, Config takes him down. Doesn't really help him out because the bomb's ticking away all over towards the B bomb site. 3-on-3, but round concluded. Will be 7-7. That's now 4 rounds in a row for an IP. This is very back and forth, and that was quite a simple approach. Walk into that B bomb site, you know the money's low. If you know the money's low, that means there's no orb window. That also means no incendiary, so you can walk in towards B, and that's why tracking the economy in CSGO is such a vital tool. That's why we have coaches. It's why we have an economy system. It's so impactful. You have to make your decisions based around it. That's exactly what they did. You wouldn't just walk into B when you know they've got an orb at the window. That's a horrible move. But if their money's low, why not? Give it a go. Optic Gaming will take a timeout here. The green wall trying to rebuild.
Talk to Trump. He's got plans.
Yeah.
Maybe he can help.
Double off set up on the T side. As we'll see the AK for occasion B. And for now, we enter round number 15 at the end of the first half of the first map. We have Nuke next. Believe it or not, we don't actually have Inferno or Mirage in this series. I've never seen anything like it. As the boys said, exotic maps, and for good reason. It's a little bit of a different game, considering the context. Dennis with the orb, joined by Dennis. Sorry, Rez with the orb, joined by Dennis. They're going to try and do the damage as the CT's cross here. And they've actually nailed it. Dennis completely destroys Gade. This is the power play coming through. Straight through those mid doors. Try and get it done, but Yugi, he isn't going to keel over just yet. It's actually a 3-on-3. Well held by Optic to actually adjust and react to it quickly.
Forest already inside of B, though. They can get there, if they can get there, because Snappy cuts them off. That drops the bomb down yet again, and they can push through the door to try and hold it. Dennis with an op has to go aggressive and finds Cajun B. Well struck. Forest swings out, knows that matters are desperate, and they have to get back to the bomb. Minute and 15 to work with, and Snappy to hold them off. Still has double doors to his favor. Tries to look through it. Spots one player sliding over. That's Forest. But no damage done as of yet. Snappy's down to 26 as a little bit of damage heads his way.
2 versus 1, and 1 minute remaining. Snappy looking to close out the half of a victory here. Take it away at the end, but a precise Deagle headshot. Did you expect anything else from Dennis? As he finishes off the round, they've pulled it back. They were actually doing quite badly. They were 7-3 down, and they pulled it back to 8-7 in their favor. Goodness gracious, this Snappy in the middle, trying to keep his head in the game. Second half begins. I guess there's always weight in the second half pistol. They're both equally split right now, so it won't be the end of the world if you lose it, but
Nice.
oh my god.
Just keep saying nice. Dennis was pretty good on that op. They had a few different players opping. We saw Lekro, we saw Forrest, we saw Dennis. This is what you see from an IP.
Yes.
Pistol starts, and IP starts over to the B site, 2 and 3. That's the respective splits, and it's going to be catwalk and aggressive from Get Right. Jumps up on the ledge, gets one, but dropped immediately in Cajun. That's fast. That's a good response. Snaps over to find Rez, following in the footsteps of big brother Christopher. Dennis gets back to mid.
Dennis getting it done with the USP. 3 on 3 though. They've got the B-bomb site. Forrest disallowing everything he can. Bomb not going to be planted just yet, but maybe Snappy can deal with that. Dennis incredibly good with this USP, but this is a very difficult situation. He's got to reload on the site, and Snappy punishes him for it. 1 versus 1. Lekro. More HP than his rival, significantly more now as he gets the ding through the box. 6 versus 89. Smoke gets deployed. Oh, goodness gracious. Lekro didn't realize he'd crossed over. Flicks and managed to pick it up. You can see a little smile on Dennis's face. He knew that almost fell out of control, but he picked it up. Good stuff. NIP continued their win streak here. 9-7. Bomb not planted. Presumably that means a force, but they got the opening couple of kills there thanks to Cajun B. Snappy took down Dennis there, but it was Lekro. Nice work. Seems to be getting more and more comfortable within his new role. Had to hit 1 bullet there. Manages to do it. Deagle armor for the Danes, and don't write them off. They can definitely make this work.
Absolutely. And the thing is, even with third place matches, we say like, oh, they aren't going to put as much into it. Oh, it doesn't matter. It always starts that way. That's fair. I'll give them truth. But there's a competitive edge that arrives at some point in this.
They've all got that in them somewhere.
And eventually, unless it's going catastrophically bad and then they go whatever, yeah, okay, it's gone. But if it's a close game, it's eventually going to start being a very serious game. So there's still a lot in this to say that NIP couldn't have made the major, and now they could actually win the minor, which is a good feather in their cap, if you will.
I think it'll boost their confidence to have a nice, albeit small, trophy, you know, get it in there. They can say they won an event this year. As it will be Lekro gunning them down. Just 1 player remains. It will be Yugi. He's won difficult rounds than this before. We'll see what he can do here. Here's the initial 1D. Don't think it will happen now. Too many players around, and that had to be the insta-kill and then turn around. As we'll see him go down. That's double digits now for an IP. Remember, Nuke next, where I do favour them. I think Rez in particular is so fantastic on that map for them. It's going to be difficult to shut him down. Has to be Eco now for Optic. Our final game of the event.
It has been a final game of all the minors, and it has been a good sequence of them. FACEIT's done a great job running them. We've seen some good Counter-Strike, and I think we're in store for a good major. I really do. I think we're in for an interesting one.
I think so. I think the best thing about this major, I'll just talk of this Eco, apologies. I think the best thing about this upcoming major is the fact we have a player break beforehand.
Yes.
We have the entirety of August for all these underdog teams, all these team shuffles. It's not going to be off the back of an event. A lot of them have got lots of time off now.
You do have Masters right before it, so
sure,
some teams, but that'll almost be a good practice after the break.
There's still, what, a good 3 weeks before that?
Yep.
So they've got plenty of time to practice. Do not take a break. Do not use that player break if you go into the major. Get the practice done. Innovate. Come up with new ideas. Work on your grenades. Look at what the best teams are doing right now. What's working for them.
On top of that, I think it's going to be interesting because I think a lot of these lower teams that are qualifying into the Challenger stage can actually take spots away from guys like, Virtus Pro that have been struggling tremendously.
Sure.
NIP's there again, but G2, another team. I mean, there's lots of teams right now at the top end that aren't convincing and certainly have issues of their own. So the player break will also help them, sure, but there's no one's safe.
No one is safe. The major is coming.
Winter is coming. Well, you didn't even watch that show. Did you make a reference to that show without watching it? That's pretty good. Oh, okay, never mind then.
I've watched the first 4 episodes, I think.
Not bad.
Forrest there, that isn't bad. Gets the first through the smoke, sees Config jumping up, takes him down. NIP have looked promising in the second half so far. Got the 3-0, they're now 11-7 up. Yugi, though, equalizes to a 4-4. We'll see Lekro holding short there. Here comes Yugi and Snappy. Now we're holding middle for now.
Boost as Lekro puts Dennis up on the box at CT spawn. Firebox, aptly named, because flames often land there so as to move them from out that position. 4-on-4, and it looks to go toward B without the inclusion of middle, meaning that that boost may not matter, and it will all come down to Rez. AWP in the site, not at the box, which is a straight line and a firing range. This is off angle, and they want to slip out to see it. Shoulder show, gets one already. Didn't
Collateral.
actually. Oh, he did collateral. You're right. It was Yugi that got tagged down to 15. So he does damage as well. That's not really a matter for him, but more for the rotations that can easily collect on it. He will get overwhelmed by the smoke. And Lekro back in, finds Cajun after he gets one. There's the assist from Rez. That's the damage he did. Made it easy as Dennis cleans up. Nip now on 12.
And that should be money gone with no bombing planted. 3K. They go for a contact B finish towards the end of that round, but Rez, sure, he only gets one kill, but he softens another one up, and that means the M4s can come in spraying wildly towards the tunnel through smokes. One of those bullets is going to connect. The cavalry arrived, shut the round down. No bomb going anywhere near that site as they go for the partial buy here. Lost bonus homing in on maximum into the next round. So Deagles, 1 CZ. We know with this sort of skill, the 1 digs could be a little bit problematic.
Snappy backs off the stairwell config, has gotten through the mid doors. So perhaps they'll put attention elsewhere strictly based on that, as the Deagle can hold off and does indeed indicate that they might want to go back over toward B. Snappy to join config. No one in CT. That may change. Lekro up above on the wall at A, could easily drop down. He has, and the M4 at range with no smokes to deter. Taps frustratingly, putting himself down into the final few bullets, but he gets a kill for it. Rez finds 2, swaps over to the pistol and wants to take out Gate to end the round. And he will, Henry. 13 rounds.
13 big old rounds. 13-7. We'll see AK-47's the AWP. Double up setup for Forrest and Rez, not Dennis, who's been so good with that particular weapon by available. Last few chances now, I should say, for Optic. Forrest will be going down here. A little bit too aggressive, but Dennis makes up for it. He takes a bit of damage himself, but still recovered.
Shot out. No success. Get right back toward the smoke. Another 4-on-4 situation at the minute mark, similar to what was in the last round. They go for the boost. Gate beats them there, but Lekro responds, fires up through the smoke, and gets the kill on Catwalk.
3-on-3. Molotov will start the spam. Optic now running on fumes, don't really have many chances left. NIP revitalized. After confirming their major attendance. Making their way up towards A now. Open site completely. They're not aware. And no CTs are there whatsoever. Cajun nails it. Necro potentially could have waited for that one. The bomb's not been planted yet, but no, it will be. I don't think they'll go for this now. It doesn't really look possible. Too much to do. Rez is pretty far removed. Cajun B's got a pretty guaranteed kill. Takes down Dennis. Does get dinked, but still finds it. And there we go. Rez will save the AWP.
So another round for Optic. 2 kills for Cajun. But as you say, Rez will keep the AWP, and there's plenty of money, honey, on the Nip side. So count on them to be backing out. It's in the next round. I'm still surprised by how little mid picks we see on this new version of Dust. Or how few, I should say, is the correct term.
Well, I guess that means when it does happen,
all the more.
It excites everyone. You know, imagine that happening in a big stadium. Grand final, the major, Dust 2. The pick comes in. It's 15-13. They rush B. They still lose. The hype, the drama. Oh, the auto sniper's out. Get Right's had enough. They've got... Okay, this is not normal. This suggests exactly what we described, Matt. They've got 4 sniper rifles, one of which is the auto sniper. This is not usual. It's... I'm not going to say they're not taking it seriously. It's just like, this is just nothing they would ever try if this was their major spot on the line, unfortunately. But it's good to see, I guess, some new tactics every now and then.
Get Right, top of the box, fires down with the auto sniper. Fair enough. Make it work. Auto sniper and 3 AWPs for Nip. This is how the cookie is going to crumble. Don't even know why I said that. It's a terrible cliche, and I hate cliches. But that's where we are in this minor because, as we say, both teams have qualified, so why not have some fun? Look at the amount of snipers on the map. In fact, there's 5 with 4 players left. Snappy will get Forrest back because he had a rifle, and that's not allowed.
So just snipers remaining. Never seen anything like it. We'll see the AWPs, the auto snipers, and it's actually worked out for an IP, as we'll see Yugi go down as the auto sniper to finish things off. And for now, it looks like it might have to be the force buy from Optic as they're on death's door right now, map. They've got to go for the UMPs, the AKs, up against maybe 5 snipers now? No, that's a shame. Just the 4.
Smoke backside, jump across. Forrest still not playing along. Rather, Lycro, excuse me, not playing along. Forrest has not. Let's not go with that one. Someday I'll learn to read. Not today, though. Forrest takes out Snappy with a rather quick shot through the smoke. Bit of luck, but also due to the timing. Get Right now waits at car, knowing that they're heading that direction. No one watching long, but he's committed to this at this point in time. And the auto sniper goes to work. 2 more kills for Get Right. I'm enjoying it. Maybe he's going to make this a regular thing, Henry. Can't imagine, but why not?
Final kill confirmed. Seems like this is a solid approach. You can see they're having way too much fun. It's the first time this entire tournament, the last few hours, I've seen NIP look happy. It's been a stressful ride for them. They knew what was on the line. It's understandable. It's nice to see them enjoying themselves. They'll stay on the snipers, and unfortunately, I'm not going to pretend I'm going to analyze this for you or anything like that. Let's just have some fun with it. They are, so we will as well. This is not a usual Counter-Strike game. I've never seen anything like this. This is just them, not so much disrespecting, but just like showing that they're not going to show all of their setups right now. They're going to make this work. They'll find all the kills. That's going to be 16 to 8 by the looks of things. They've completely decimated their opponents the last few rounds. It was back and forth to begin with, but towards the end, NIP really ran away with the game, especially when they brought out the heralded quad sniper setup. Maybe they'll bring that out at the main event as well.
You keep running around. The main event. No more saving strats for the major, Henry.
Should be coming to its logical conclusion in a second. Flashbang deployed. Yugi occasionally didn't want to give this up by the looks of things. They're still going for it.
That works. Lycro confirms it for Nip. 16 to 8. They double up on Optic. Not a whole lot to be said for it, to be honest. It was one of those games.
There's no point in me doing my usual thing and analysing it. It was serious to begin with, you can see that. They were doing everything they could, but once they got comfortable, sure, they brought out, had some fun, it works out. Optic aren't going to be too bothered. Still got a couple more maps to go potentially, but it's going to be Nuke next. We'll see if NIP can close it out at 2. Maybe that's what Optic want, who knows? Just get it over with.
Well, we'll find out in due time as... Well, I enjoyed at least seeing 4 snipers, one of which was an auto.
Yeah, well, I think our analysts are going to have a lot of fun with this one. Trace, what do you say?
What do you say? Lay by the bay, just eat some hay. I just may. And with that, of course, Chad Burchill on the topic. Talk to me about what we just watched, Chad.
I actually think that there's one point we can talk about 4 orbs. We can talk about the loose style of Counter-Strike. We can talk about all that kind of stuff. But there's one point that Matt made, which I really agree with, and that's the sentiment of, you know, these guys might be playing a loose breed of CS here, and they might be, you know, just taking it a little bit more lackadaisical, foot off the gas, more so than what you'd expect for a grand final. But at some point, the competitive edge will kick in. And I definitely agree with that sentiment, because these are competitors competing at the highest level, and this is what they love to do. It's not about anything else other than that at this point in time. So a couple of positive things. NIP with smiles on their faces. That's a positive sign. Obviously, we know this isn't a great map for Optic, and it was a relatively puggy environment. It's a great advertisement for FPL in a lot of ways. And Lecro there, one of the younger players, really just putting up big numbers. 28 kills, that's a huge performance.
And this is the definition of a little bit of a stat pad, if you think about it. Lecro having padded those stats quite a bit, 28-13, and just a hellacious showing there from the Ninjas.
But he's pretty good in the FPL, so that makes sense. Lecro is the go-to pick if you want to win.
Less structure, more fragging.com. I'm also real curious what the what is it, 2R, 1A, or 2A, 1R? What was the tag there from Config? Do we know?
What?
I'm not sure. I think Config had a different tag than Optic, so I was a little bit confused. I'm not going to throw it out there.
I didn't pay any attention to that. I was just watching the Counter-Strike go down.
Well, sometimes, you know, in this game, people get fragged, and then their names pop up in the top right, and then you can ultimately read them.
I have that turned off.
Oh, reasonable.
Yeah, so I don't see it at home. But here, basically, so people can understand how Dust 2 is meant to go down, there's not meant to be 4 sniper rifles up on one team at any given time, unless it is the last round of the game, or the last round of the half, or the last round of overtime.
Last round of overtime. Well, we didn't see any overtime there, but we did see Ninjas in Pajamas put away that first map pretty convincingly and pretty smooth sailing. I think even the atmosphere in here, because we are in the same room as the teams and players, is it's fun. They're having fun. You can hear laughter on both sides of the equation here.
Yeah, it's good though. You know, well, it is good and it's not good at the same time, because it's not hugely competitive. So maybe we just like park Dust 2 if we're ready to park Dust 2. You ready to park it?
Would you like to park Dust 2 and perhaps launch the nukes, because that's where we're going next? Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, I was hoping you'd have some experience with that. You and Donnie T.
Wow. Big words from an Australian man.
Yeah, we don't have any nukes. You got any nukes?
I don't, but I have something I want to discuss with you.
All right, hold up, let's do it.
How do we transition from the loose Dust 2 style to nuke?
Because you can't really play nuke very loosely.
Yeah, how does this like puggy, funny environment is going to transpire onto nuke?
Aggression? CT aggression?
CT aggression, you could push into hut if you want to, you can push ramp if you want to, but 4 ops, auto sniper, really on nuke?
I don't think we'll see that. I think we'll see shotguns. I think we'll see a lot of that kind of stuff going down. I think we'll see random timings on pushes and looser regard in that way. But they played this earlier in the tournament, and Optic won 16-7. So I'd consider like similar themes to go into this. But if you're playing a loose, more aggressive style as NIP, especially on the CT side, for example, when you're pushing, you can really ruin some of these strategies. If they just decide, hey, we're not going to let them take secret control at all, and they just play all-in outside control strategies and that kind of stuff, it could make life very difficult for Optic if they try and play structured.
Well, what are the odds that even in this sort of like loose approach to the maps that we're seeing right now, we see Negev or something come out to hold squeaky door? Like, what kind of game are we expecting?
Is the gentleman's agreement still in place?
With no Negevs?
Yeah, I don't know if it still exists.
I think that was part of the Mayflower Compact back when you played, Chad, and then...
Oh, the Negev was nothing back then. The Negev was way too expensive, and no one would ever worry about it. Now it's, what is it, $1,700 and it's a laser beam? Or is it $2,000?
Don't ask me. I don't use that type of weapons.
I don't buy those.
We're not fun gun type of guys around here. We take this real seriously. We buy the AK-47s. We buy the M4s. We get the AWPs. I'm not even messing around with any of that Mickey Mouse, you know, Tech 9 stuff.
Tech 9?
I'm talking CZ all the way. Every day.
Just something very unconvincing about that. But yes, very much the case. We're going to nuke, and this could very well turn out to be just Nip's best of 3 right in their hands. A 2-0, and it could be a convincing fashion. But again, there is a significant difference, I feel like, in the air in this room right now.
I'm trying to consider the factors when they beat Sprout on the map. It wasn't anything crazy special that came out from them by any means. I'm just trying to, if there was anything that was like a glaring game plan that they came up with which was able to just completely unravel the Sprouts.
I have a game plan, and my game plan is this. We're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we've got a second map in this best of 3 for you, the viewer at home, who hopefully has their FACEIT account linked to their YouTube account so that they can win stuff. That's right, we're going to nuke, and you don't want to miss the end of the world, so be here when we come back.